comic fans across the cosmos. We're back yet again with an all-new Metro After Hours. I'm John the Bear Berry. This is store owner Gail Burt, and of course our very own Flynn Cook. So let's get right to it, shall we? First of all, we have a big announcement. We're having a Metropolis Halloween Spooktacular party, and you're invited. Yes, you, sitting right there, looking at the computer on YouTube and all that. You.
But,
Anyway.
but not you.
So,
You're unsavory looking.
Not that other guy.
He's
That
unsavory
other-
looking.
No, not the guy in the underwear.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
The good-looking
October
one.
20th, that's a Wednesday,
6 to 8 p.m.
from 6 to 8 p.m., we will be having horror writer extraordinaire, the #1 horror writer in comics right now, Steve Niles. We'll also be having Brett Nance and the Marvelous Man Boys, because you demanded them back, people.
Exactly.
And we'll have Halloween treats. We're going to have a costume contest with prizes, so everybody show up and in your very best Halloween costume. We want to
You
see you
can
here
win.
for that. And some Halloween raffle prizes as well. So you will want to be here Wednesday, October 20th, from 6 to 8 for our Halloween Spooktacular. It's going to be huge, people.
The Clown Prince of Crime is going to be here.
Yes, he will. So see, right then and there, that's a reason to show up. So there you go. Anyway, there's big news that just now broke out of the New York Comic Con. Literally just broke. DC, starting in January, their prices will go from, most of their books are a mix of $2.99 to $3.99. They will all universally now be $2.99, no
Right.
more $3.99.
So let's talk about that for a second. We said actually last time that we really felt like one of the things hurting or hindering comics right now was that $3.99 price point. We kept on saying that, first of all, proliferation of books, way too many titles, way too many spin-offs, and people
Oh,
can't.
yeah, we did say that, didn't we?
Yeah, they feel like they
forgot.
just can't jump on, right? And I mean, at $3.99, that's a lot. You
It
know,
really
that's
is.
a lot of lettuce in this kind of economic climate. So the drop to $2.99, I think, is really going to help DC's books, and also Marvel has kind of followed suit. They're not going to drop their prices to $2.99, but any new books that they introduce after January will be priced at $2.99, and they're going to drop a bunch of the spin-offs that aren't that are circling the rim of the toilet.
That's,
right
Not
that's
now.
really
the key
selling.
thing. That's the key thing that they need to do.
Exactly.
See, and
Just trim the fat.
one of the
you know?
interesting things that I read about online is the fact that Marvel kind of admitted that they were pushing too many things coming out at $3.99, and they just weren't moving. So therefore, you're going to see a little less titles from Marvel as well, and a lot more $2.99. And speaking of the $2.99 DC, the only really bad thing about that is when they go back to all strictly being $2.99, they're going from 22 pages, which the $2.99 books currently are, to just strictly 20 pages. So you get 2 pages less to read. I don't know how I feel about that.
A dollar less for 2 less pages. I mean,
That's not.
We do have like a nice
That's not
backup
great,
feature.
but that's not as bad.
Right.
Yeah, we do have a nice backup feature in them right now. So they're currently 40 pages.
Well,
but
the only backup feature right now is Jimmy Olsen in Action Comics, isn't it?
No,
they're about to start Commissioner Gordon in Detective
Yeah,
Comics, but that's
exactly.
going to end, and then Dan Dido said that don't worry about the co-features disappearing because something's going
they
to
have
happen with
plans
them.
for them.
I know with
yeah.
Jimmy Olsen will be a one-shot. That's how that'll finish up.
Right, and so
Oh,
let's
well,
talk about
Yeah, speaking of which,
let's talk about Action Comics this week. Really good.
Last week.
Yeah,
last
well,
week.
Wednesday, yeah, this past Wednesday.
No, it wasn't
oh
this
no,
past
yeah, you're
Wednesday.
right.
Yeah, it
it
was
was,
last week.
2 weeks ago. This coming Wednesday. So, okay, shows you what I know. I just own the place. But I read this too. Paul Cornell,
Sure she does.
writer of Doctor Who episodes. You know, cool ones, and this is really good. I mean, I kept saying that Action Comics with Lex Luthor was
Right.
not going to sell, and it wasn't going to be good because it's a bad
Right.
guy book, and nobody likes bad guy books. No matter how cool you think the bad guy is, nobody buys them. Okay,
Yeah.
Why
but
was
this
she
is
wrong?
really good. It's like super sci-fi. This particular issue, really, really cool.
it's freaking brilliant.
It is. It's a brilliant
I love that
story.
book.
Really fun. It's also kind of a landmark episode. This issue contains the first appearance of Death from the Sandman, which she's only ever been in Vertigo comics up until this time. So she crosses over into the regular DC universe in this issue, and then also in the Jimmy Olsen backup feature, also spectacular, by the way. Never
Chloe
heard.
Sullivan,
Yeah, I never heard of Nick Spencer, the writer, or R.B. Silva, the artist, but has a very distinctive look to it. It's really well written. It's very sharply done, and it introduces Chloe Sullivan from Smallville into the DC universe as Jimmy's ex-girlfriend. So
It actually made me care about Jimmy Olsen. So that in itself is a reason to read it, besides the great story and the great art. And Lex goes up against Gorilla Grodd, and Gorilla Grodd's extremely intelligent. And the funny thing is you find out rather quickly that Lex is always like 5 steps ahead of everybody else. But it just makes for great reading, great book. I cannot recommend this book enough.
yeah, I can't either. It's really good. It's really fun, and it's really unusual for a book about a bad guy to be this good. You actually kind of start to root for Lex Luthor, and that's weird. But
Jimmy Olsen didn't have to be endeared anymore. He already endeared me back on all those old Silver Age comics where Superman was always doing something to make his life horrible. I just felt so awful for Jimmy.
Jimmy was turning into a wolf man, a turtle boy.
Oh,
anyway.
he bought Superman a
kinds
smoking
of
jacket
problems.
for Father's Day. Superman burns it up. So
That's some
Superman's
super
a
dickery
jerk.
right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you wanted to go into our next book is one that I also love, and I'm turning Gail on to.
I read
Fantastic
this today,
Four.
actually. Yeah, Fantastic Four. This is the beginning of 3. Big event coming. Sorry, we forgot to lock the door. It's after hours and we forgot to lock the door. Whoops. Somebody just wandered in. It's live TV, folks. It's reality. We're in the moment.
Well, it's not live when you see it, but
Anyhow,
you can
live when we
pretend.
do it.
You can pretend.
so what's going on in Fantastic Four, if you want me to take that?
Go right ahead.
It basically starts a story arc called 3. And what's been going on, because it's super sci-fi, like hurt your brain type of stuff that you'll really like, though. What's happening basically is Val,
It
who's...
doesn't have a lot of technobabble, just for those of you who are worried about the sci-fi element. It's
Right.
not like a lot of scientific jargon or anything like that. It's just really cool, like oddball sci-fi ideas.
Basically, Val, who's the daughter of Reed and Sue, a while back met up with a much older version of her brother Franklin. He revealed the future to her and the fate of the Fantastic Four. So what ends up happening is the Fantastic Four are away on a mission, and while they're fighting, Val, who was babysitting at the time, takes off and has a secret meeting with Dr. Doom. And basically, Dr. Doom has suffered from a seizure,
Stroke
or seizure a couple of issues ago. So he has some slight brain damage, and he's hiding in Latveria, not wanting anybody to know, but Val knows. And this is only like a 10-year-old girl, and she goes up to him and basically says, I know what's wrong with you. I can help cure you, but here's the deal. You have to help my family.
Okay, stop. Don't
And
tell
so
anymore.
That's all I'm going to say, because that all leads into the whole 3 arc, because somebody, for what she did, somebody from the Fantastic Four is going to pay a price.
Well, this is us hypothesizing. I mean, we don't know, but I mean, you don't call it
I have a
3
feeling,
without
yeah.
thinking that somebody's going to be gone.
Great
So,
stuff, though. And I
yeah.
won't tell you the ending because you'll go, oh my God. But really, this book you should be picking up monthly. Very good.
Yeah, it was very cool. I really liked it a lot. So.
Jonathan Hickman is the writer on that,
Yeah.
and he's also the writer on Ultimate Thor.
Which is the really good Thor book.
This is the really
Yeah.
good Thor book right now.
Of the 11.
Hickman's right.
This one's
Yeah,
the really good
Hickman's
one.
writing this right now. Basically, this is a really busy book for a first issue. You have Dr. Donald Blake showing up and in a psychiatric place, and the other doctors are saying, you need to talk to him, he's not getting better. So he goes into a room, and it's Thor, which, of course, Don Blake, as we all know, turns into Thor. But he's helping Thor, and Thor's like writing all this Norse mythology and poetry down on the ground over and over and over again. We don't know why that happened. Then it flashes back into old days of Asgard, where Thor, Loki, and Balder the Brave are all like banded together, and they're fighting ice giants. And so there's that story going on. Then you throw in the fact that it's World War II all of a sudden, and Baron Zemo, the Baron Zemo, for whatever reason, he wants to get into the Rainbow Bridge and invade Asgard during World War II, and he has help from, guess what, those same ice giants that we saw way back in the other part of the story. So yeah, that's a really busy book for my money,
Lot
but
going
that's
on there.
it's a great story. You'll be totally caught up in it.
Very cool.
And going into
And
kids
especially with
comics,
the Thor movies coming around
Right.
pretty soon. So
and
you know,
going into kids comics real quick because I'm the kids comic guy here. Mickey Mouse and Friends celebrated its 300th issue. Very quickly, as you can see, there's a whole mess of Mickey Mouses on there. So what ends up happening is Mickey's friend from the future, Iga Beaver. Yes, that's his name, Iga Beaver. Not kidding. Anyway, he brings a duplicate gun with him, and Mickey says, "Oh, cool! I'm going to try it out because then I can go on a date with Minnie, and then I can go hang out with Goofy." Well, there's a problem. It won't stop creating more and more and more Mickeys. So now there's a massive amount of Mickeys, people. It's what I'm telling you. So there's all kinds of problems going on. And then the other winner, though, in the back of the book that I love is a story about Mickey's horse called Tanglefoot. And this took place in the 1930s, 1940s when this comic was released. Believe it or not, I didn't know who Tanglefoot was, but it turns out at this time when this was produced, Tanglefoot was almost as popular as the rest of the Mickey supporting characters. So it's a really interesting backup story. So check out 300 if you can. And finally, from me anyway, Walt Disney Comics, there's a guy who's writing and drawing this right now called Casey. Casey, I believe, is from Europe, and he's doing a heck of a job. This one is called Mickey Mouse and the Orbiting Nightmare. And basically what happens, Mickey goes into space, he's up on a space station, something goes horribly wrong. I can't tell you what because I'll keep you in suspense.
Spoiler warning.
But it's very, very good stuff. It's like a little mystery and Mickey has to solve what's going on. And in the back of it, if that wasn't enough, is the Tomb of Goofula with Marv Wolfman and Gene Cullen. Marv Wolfman wrote it.
Oh,
Gene
that's cool.
Cullen does the art, the Tomb of Goofula.
So nice for Halloween. Okay, and
Yeah.
also for Halloween, Flynn has, I think, one of the
do we have
star
any time
books
left?
of one of the star books of the week.
That's right, perfect for Halloween. This comic book took me by surprise because I knew that it was going to involve reprints of some older Batman material. What I didn't know, however, was that one of the two stories in there is actually a brand new story. Well, newish. It was never before released, done by Ron Mars and Bernie Wrightson. So the book is called Batman Hidden Treasures, and how appropriate is that? Because the story fits very well with the story that they paired it with, which is Swamp Thing number 7, Night of the Bat, from 1973, done by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson.
Nice.
They go together so perfectly for October because they are dark and macabre and mysterious.
And Bernie Wrightson.
Yeah, well, I mean, that goes without saying.
Awesome.
Wow, yeah.
The first story is Batman dealing with Solomon Grundy, and it's told in splash pages with prose. So it's utterly fantastic. It's one of the best Batman stories that I've read this year, and it's not even that long. But when you pair it with the Swamp Thing reprint, which has been beautifully recolored by DC.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Oh,
nice.
that does look nice.
Yeah, it's just they don't tell Batman stories like this anymore. I'm a big fan of the older stories where they're macabre and dark, and Batman takes on all kinds of weird things. So this is called Batman Hidden Treasures. It's an appropriate title, even if you have to put on a fedora and go hunting for it.
And it's right up here at the counter this week.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the great books you overlooked.
Yes.
So that's going to do it for us this episode of Metropolis After Hours. I'm Flynn Cook, and remember, if you get it on tape, you could get it in cash.